We have divided time according to our social needs. We have divided time according to our convention. So the past, present, and future, the clock time, the days of a month, days of a year, all these are man-made. This is calculated by man. For animals, there is no time. For plants, there is no time. That is not a fixed rule that 1 year is 365 days. 1 month is 30 days. 1 hour is 60 minutes. 1 minute is 60 seconds. It is articulated by us. In that sense, time is eternal. Time is infinite. This is metaphysics. Kala. There is no division at all. Space and time, even space is that. This is New Delhi, this is Mumbai. This is what we have made. This is India. We have named a geographical area, and that becomes our convention, and we manage with that name. That this is my house, this is my plot, this is my college, this is my address. So, so space and time, they are indivisible, they are infinite, metaphysically speaking. But when we connect time with events, we deal with the clock time, and it is very necessary. Otherwise, we cannot we cannot live in this world, in this practical world. So for our practical living, this conventional time, this clock time, this chronological time is necessary because we all believe the time setup. We all have a common convention, though there is difference. Indian time is different from American time. There is difference. Still, we are convinced. We are acquainted with that change. Therefore, in hotels and in different places, there are different watches reflecting the time of a different country. So this is the time through which we live our practical life. But the interesting point is there is another time that is psychological time. That is psychological time. That is our personal time. And all psychosomatic problems, disease, they are due to the mismanagement of or the interference of our own personal time, the psychological time that does not go with the clock time, the chronological time. What is that psychological time? So here we are discussing the psychic discipline, how we are involved in a particular event through a particular time. Every event takes place at a time and it ends in another time. By that, we can understand what is time. Beginning of an event and the end of an event, the gap is the time. The class starts at a time, the class ends at a time, the train begins at its journey at a time, the train reached at a time. So through the event, we can understand the gap of time, the interval of time, the progress of time, the flow of time. But what happens? Event takes place naturally according to the physical laws that takes place naturally at a particular time and it ends at a particular time. If we are psychologically involved in that event, then we should go with that event. Naturally, we don't. Very often we do not do that. We fail to do that. That means there is a problem in our involvement in a particular event. We desire many things to take place, and we also desire the continuity of that event. This is a psychological problem. Why you like to like the continuity that the event should continue, the event should not end. Why? Because we like it. We like something. We like an event. Therefore, we desire its continuity. Suppose you dislike, suppose you don't like one event, then you desire its ending, that it should end immediately. Suppose you don't tolerate somebody's speech, you don't tolerate somebody's presence, you don't tolerate, that is your problem. That cannot change the presence of the person, or the happening of the event. But you desire that the event should stop here. So if you dislike, you desire to stop the event immediately. That is, it should not repeat. If it will repeat, then I shall be upset. I shall be in problem, psychic problem. And if you like that event, then you desire that it must continue. It must be repeated. The event must be repeated. Just you ask yourself whether this, this happens to you or not. This is a very common sense. This is common sense. This is not philosophy. Because we like some guests, we like their presence, we desire that they should continue. They should continue. They should stay with us. But they have to leave us. They have to go to their home after an interval. But we are not ready to welcome that departure, to accept that discontinuity. This is our problem. If we do not like the situation, if we do not like the event, then we desire that it should be stopped immediately. So event takes place chronologically according to the flow of time. This is one thing. But our psychic response to the occurrence of the event is different. So this is the crisis of a man, every man, each and every man, because we always live in our imaginary world. We don't live in our real world. We always live in our imaginary world. What I expect, I expect I like that world. I want to live in the world which is preferable to me, which is suitable for me. I am not ready to live in the world as it is. I want you to speak what I want, that you should speak like this. I am not neutral. I am not a clean observer. My mind is not stable. My mind is not neutral. I like you only because I prefer that you should speak what I like. then you are a good friend, then you are a good person. If you speak contrary to my choice, then I don't like you. That means I choose my world and I live in that world. So we all live in our personal world, and that world is managed by our psychological time. That means there are three situations. Event takes place, event ends in time. I enjoy the event, I am involved in the event, but I could not end my experience. Here comes the experience. Event takes place and it is experienced by me. So when I am the experiencer, when I am experiencing, my experience should end at the end of the event. If I prolong my experience psychologically, even if the event is lost or event has been stopped automatically, but I have not stopped it psychologically. I desire its continuity. So this is called psychological attachment. There is a beautiful um, um, there is a distinction between vastu and a visaya. Suppose we are attached to a vastu, we are attached to a particular object or a particular event which are physically available. That is vastu. It is available to us as an object, and we are involved to it. But but the problem is the involvement with vastu is not a problem. It's not a big problem. Even if the vastu is not there, we are involved with its visaya. Its visaya. That means vastu is absent. Vastu is finished. That event has already finished. But we have kept that in our mind as a memory. As a memory. That means the desire, the image, the subject is there. Many times we imagine the image of the object which was experienced before 10 days or 15 days or before 1 month. We continue that. That means if we are involved with the past memories, the past images, then naturally we fail to present in the present time because time is running, time is flowing. So we are not flowing in the flow of time only because at a particular time, at any time, we are attached to one event and we don't go ahead. That means there is no harmony between our psychic movement and the actual movement of the event. I am giving an example. Suppose in our daily life, we have a daily routine that what shall we do from the early morning to the late night? There is an agenda. Similarly, there is an agenda for our life also. In scriptures, it is said, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Banapastha, and Sannyasa. This is also an agenda of life. This is the time of a Brahmacharya, this is the time of a Grahastha, this is the time of a Banapastha, this is the time of a Sannyasa. So you have to end your course at a particular time. You cannot study PG for 10 years. You cannot do PhD for 20 years. Everything has a time limit. If you don't finish your experience within your time limit, then you are back. You are backward. You are You are running behind the schedule. We are running behind the time. So your movement and the movement of time should go hand in hand. If it is possible, then there will be no problem. And how can it be possible? If you are not unnecessarily psychologically attached to anything. That means you are beyond, you transcend both likes and dislikes. You have to transcend the dialectics of likes and dislikes. Unfortunately, if you like something or somebody, then that is a great problem for you because that will break your flow. Maybe may not be. That depends upon your stability. That depends upon the nature of your mind. So one should go beyond likes and dislikes, and one should focus on his duty. So this is my duty. This duty had a time limit. Within that time limit, I completed my duty. In the sense of duty, it is finished. Then I shall focus on the next duty in the next time. Then I can be called a karma yogi. Otherwise not. Otherwise not. If I don't have the time sense, if I don't know how to manage time according to the flow of the events, then I am not a good manager. That was the problem of Arjuna in the battlefield. Arjuna was confused. Arjuna had a Visada, but that was not the right place. That was not the right time to have a Visada because he should be oriented, properly oriented for war. So war field is not the right place to have any type of agony, any type of despair, any type of confusion, no, grief. So when Arjuna saw the relatives before him that I am going to fight with my brothers, teachers, my relatives, then he was disturbed. But that was not the time. That was the time for war. So if you are not attending your duty, assigned duty, at your appropriate time, then you are doing paradharma. You are not doing your sadharma. That means you are doing the dharma for another time in this time. You should not be worried. You should not have any grief. You should not be confused in the examination hall. In the examination hall, you should be ready to write your answers. All preparations are finished before night. You should attend your examination with a clean mind. When you are driving your car, your mind should be absolutely free. If with an absent mind you are driving, driving is a time. It is a time. So in the time of driving, you should drive. So if you do not attend an event in its appropriate time, then you are not doing karma yoga. That is not karma yoga. You are just doing karma. You are doing something mechanically, but that is not karma yoga. That cannot unite you to the supreme self. That will destroy you. That will be the cause of your destruction. This is a very simple thing. This is very common sense. In our daily life, practical life, even if we do a small work, very small work. Suppose you are engaged with the homework of your child. Be a child. Be a child for half an hour, 1 hour. Don't do your mobile. Don't attend to TV or don't be engaged with your important calls when you are teaching your child. You give 100% concentration to the homework of the child. Then only that karma will become karma yoga. Otherwise not. Otherwise you did something mechanically. For the sake of doing you did. This is not karma yoga. So the time management and your child, what your child will learn from you, that my father is sitting before me, but he is absent-minded. He is not attending me. And the children are good observers. They observe us very meticulously. So we observe each other. How this person is working, how that person is working. So whenever we are doing our work, we should not interfere our psychological time. We should not superimpose. We should not superimpose our psychological time on the chronological time. Two possibilities are there. Event takes place. Event ends. Event ends at a time, and your experience ends accordingly. Imagine this is a situation. Suppose we have gone to a picnic, or you have gone a family tour to a place. That happens to me many times. I am also affected. When I usually I go to New Delhi, when I return, I can't come to my place. I stay in Delhi, even in my local place, because I can't forget those memories. I live in those memories. Mentally, I am there. Mentally, I am there, but physically, I am here. This happens. Physically, students are in the classroom, but psychologically, they are in different places. So, our body and mind, they exist at two places. Therefore, when we experience an event, that experience should end at the end of the event. If this is happening in your life, then you will see that you are in the right path. You are in the right path. And what is the other way? The other way is event ends at a particular time, but your experience does not end there. You hang over the imagination, the results of that action, that event. That will happen. So the thought of the consequence is also part of that. Whenever we are doing our duty, we think over the consequence in advance. In advance, we think over the consequence. Thinking about consequence is not bad, because without thinking, we cannot do any work. We should have that orientation. We should have orientation we should have our planning. Otherwise, we can't do any action. But we should not be disturbed by that consequence. That means we should not be disturbed by the past memories, and we should not be disturbed by the future anxieties. But unfortunately, what happens to us, we many of us, we are not present in the present. We are always found either in the past or in the future. We are disturbed by our past memories, and we are also disturbed by our future anxieties. And these both the past and the future are nothing but illusions. They are illusions, because past is lost. Past is lost. We don't forget the contribution of the past. Whatever we have got, we have got. But we have to focus on the present, because time is flowing. The interesting thing is, time is flowing. And according to time, my life is flowing. Everything is flowing, but I am static. I stand still with my past memory, because I don't want to move, because I don't want to end my experience. That means I don't want to be detached from my attachment. Attachment is not bad, But we have to know how to be detached from our attachment. If we do not know this technique, detachment from attachment, then we cannot be attached to the next assignment. That means bhoga is not bad. We have to enjoy everything. We have to do anything. We should have attachments. We should have kamana. But that kamana should not become our vasana. That attachment should not be our bondage. So attachment through detachment means we should know how to detach from any attachment, any attachment. So in Bhagavad Gita it is called Swadharma. Suppose, and all Swadharmas are illusions because you are nobody. When you are playing different roles like father, teacher, brother, etc., etc. All these roles are illusions from the Vyavaharika Satta, from the Paramarthika Satta. Because you are everybody, but you are also nobody. You are that unmanifest. You are that formless, but you are playing different roles according to the necessity, because you have to live in this practical life. You have to play the role of a father, you have to play the role of a citizen, you have to play the role of a brother, you have to play different roles. That is Swadharma. But all your Swadharmas are illusions when you identify yourself as, as the formless, as Mr. Nobody, that you are that formless. So this wisdom will enable us, will groom our minds in the direction of a detachment. That yes, I am doing my work, this is an attachment, but I am not this. I am doing this, but I am not this. I have this, but I am not this. Doing this is not I am that. Having this is not I am that. What I have, I am not. What I do, I am not. But by ignorance, what we assume that whatever I have, I am. Suppose I have a building, suppose I have 100 buildings, then I am a rich person. Suppose I have a mind, then I am my mind. Suppose I have intelligence, I am intelligent. This is a wrong identity. So the greatest crisis of a man is the crisis of identity. We are suffering from crisis of identity. We do not know our identity. We are running after our false identity because we because of our false attachments or false psychological attachments. We live in our imaginary world. We live in our subconscious world. All the time we are subconscious only. We are not conscious. We pretend to be conscious, but actually we are subconscious. We are not alert. Every moment, whenever we are eating, we are watching TV, we are thinking of this, thinking that. We are reading a book, we are engaged in different types of thoughts. If different types of thoughts they enter into your mind, whenever you are doing a particular work, that you will see that you are not stable. Your mind is not stable. Your mind is flexible. So that should not be. So we should be very loyal to time. We should be very grateful to time. We should be very obedient to time. So time is flowing, my life is flowing, I am flowing through this life. So every action should be done in a very calculated manner, mathematical calculation. And what is the advantage? What is the advantage? I am giving you a demonstration. Suppose you are the best person and I am the loser. Why I am a loser? Because I failed to end my experience at the end of the event. So this is my failure. I admit this. I enjoy more and more. I desire the continuity of an event. If that is a good moment, I shall never desire that this moment should go away. If you love your guests, you will desire that that guest will come to your house and will stay in your home repeatedly. That is attachment only. That's only attachment. Even the attachment between mother and son. So there should be a departure in a relation. Even if you love your son, love your daughter, you may love him or her from the core of your heart, but so far as time is concerned, so far as dharma is concerned, so far as the betterment of the child is concerned, you have to maintain the detachment. Yes, if my son is um, um, going to going for a higher study, and he will have to stay in the distant place in the hostel, and I have to tolerate the departure. I have to tolerate that. If you are not able to tolerate the departure, that means that is your attachment. That attachment is bad. Even if that attachment is for your wife, for your husband, for your child, for anybody, even for your study also, even for your study. If you are studying, that has also a rule. You cannot study overnight. Those who study overnight, at the cost of their sound sleep, they are fools. Because mind has a capacity to receive. Don't read more maximum time. Who reads maximum time? Those who are fools, they read maximum time. Vivekananda was not reading maximum time. He was just looking at the pages and he was understanding everything. Because you nurture your mind in such a way that at a glance you can understand. Suppose you are hearing a speaker. Suppose you are hearing to a speaker, it is not necessary that you will strain your mind to focus on the talk. No, not casually, very casually you can hear and you can understand because your mind is so groomed and you can understand the speech of the speaker before he speaks. You will say, oh, this, oh, now he will be speaking like this. Oh, now what will happen? So these things will take place in. So that is the nature of a good student in the classroom. The student knows the what the teacher will speak in the next. This is the miracle of our minds. We are endowed with such a powerful mind that we should know the use of mind, and that is yoga. Because mind is the only instrument. Mind is the only instrument that binds you and that liberates you. If you are in bondage, that is through your mind. If you are liberated, you are free, that is through your mind. Because we don't have a second instrument. We have only one instrument, and that is mind. So if you are studying, then you don't study for at the cost of your sleep, at the cost of your guests. No, it is not necessary. You watch. I always advise my students. You watch TV. You mix with your friends because and whenever you are studying for 1 hour or 2 hours, kindly focus on that. At that time, you give justice to your study. But the moment you are watching TV, give justice to watching TV. Enjoy whatever you see in the TV, the television. Suppose you are watching a reality show. Enjoy that. You become the judge how the participants are singing. Like that also your mind will be exercised. Because the purpose is the exercise of mind in a positive direction. It is not that how much you learn. It is very important. It is very important how much you grasp. How much you grasp. It is not important how much you eat. It is very much important that how much you can digest. So your digesting power is very important. So your accumulating power, your understanding power should be enriched. So by proper understanding, you will transcend to proper realization, and ultimately you shall have transformation. If you do not transform day by day, if you are today what you were before 10 years, then your education has no meaning. If you are inferior, what you were before 10 years, then you are not progressing. So education means transformation. Education means transformation. That we should transform day by day, day by day. Therefore, brahmacharya, grahastha, banaprastha, and the ultimate transformation is sannyasa. Sannyasa is a time when you should not have any attachment to the worldly allurements. You should not have. The moment you are living the life of sannyasa, you should not have asakti for grahastha. If you have, then you have not transformed. If you have, then you have not passed your time properly. So, if you are in your school time, kindly enjoy your school time. Give justice to your school time. Enjoy it because this time will not come again. If you are in the college time, kindly enjoy your college time because this time will not come. Everything shall pass away. Every time shall pass away and it will not come again. So the moment I live this life, I shall live it fully. I shall live it fully. I shall give 100% justice to the present moment because this time will pass away. This is one truth. And the second truth is this will not come again. Suppose this will pass away and will come again, then there is no problem. Oh, it is going and it will come. What is going will not come again. So this every time is precious for me. Every moment is precious for me. Every event is precious for me, and every person is precious for me. Every person. Suppose now I am talking to all of you. You all are very much precious to me because I am engaged with you biologically, psychologically, and spiritually. You are my friends now. So psychologically, I am connected with you because I am talking to you. Nobody is seen. Nobody is seen. I can see anybody here over my mobile screen, but I feel your presence, and this feeling is possible because of my justified involvement. Justified involvement is necessary, and it is possible by the sense of a vairagya, by the sense of a detachment. So, what is the crisis? The crisis is that events end, events end, events end, but we do not end our experience. I am giving a very peculiar example. Suppose there are two sisters, very closely related. They are very good friends. But what happens after their marriage? They become envious of each other. They become jealous of each other. That you have so many things I don't have. Of if I have this, you have the better. So they try to compete with each other. If something is told by one sister to another sister before 10 years, one sister has remembered it. You had told me before 10 years, and what she had told you before 10 years, you have remembered it. You have remembered it. You are so poor. You don't have any other agenda. So how can you develop your relationship? If you remember the ugly things, ugly instances of your life with anybody else, even if you are good friends. So that is the problem. I am giving an example when Lord Buddha was giving sermon to his disciples. What happened in one evening? A drunkard man came and he spat on the face of the Gautam Buddha, and he scolded in slang language to Lord Buddha. So all the disciples were worried. They were waiting for the signal that if Lord Buddha will allow, then they will beat that person. But Lord Buddha said, no, excuse him, because he does not know what he is doing. And that person left the place. Next day, at the same time, when Buddha was giving sermon, that fellow came again. So everybody thought that he will repeat the same mistake again. He will again misbehave. He will again spit on the face of Buddha. But he pardoned. He pardoned before Lord Buddha, and he said, Lord, please excuse me. I am sorry for my mistakes, what I had done yesterday. You know what Buddha said? Buddha said, you are not the same person who spat on my face yesterday, and I am not the same person who was insulted by you. If you were the same person, you could not have, um, 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 we could not have, um, you could not have um, um, behaved like this, because you have been changed. You are not the same person. This is the mindset of a man. Because but we remember what you said, what you had said before 10 years. So we have to understand, if everything is changing, and at every moment we are transforming from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness, then we should not mistake the identity. That you are the same person what you were yesterday. This is a mistake. This is a misconception. With this, we can have a very good understanding, fellow feeling, and very positive attitude for our friends and relatives. So the point is, our mind is everything. Our mind is everything, because we interfere. Our mind interferes. The world that we perceive is, is our subjective world only. We do not perceive the objective world. What the exactly the objective world, nobody can say. Whatever you will say only that world which is thought by you, which is experienced by you, which is imagined by you, which is expected by you. That I expect this world, I expect this situation. So we are all living in our imaginary world. If this is true, then let us have good imagination. Let us have a good dream. Let us have let us have good orientation in our life. So this is time management. If we really believe in time, I said that time is metaphysical. There is no time at all. Time is eternal. If at all we believe in time from the social perspective, from our practical life perspective, then we should give justice to our time. Time means time through events. So if time is related to events, then our when event takes place, our experience of the event should end accordingly. If it does not end, then we shall suffer. We shall suffer from the attachment. And we can link this talk to the pratyahara. I have already told that Pratyahara means to withdraw your mind, withdraw your mind from from a from a given situation, or we can withdraw. Yes, mind is engaged. Mind is engaged very meticulously in a particular situation, in a particular time. But another time demands my withdrawal, my withdrawal. So, we have to become a good observer that how I am engaged in a time of involvement and in a time of withdrawal. That at a particular time, as I am getting involved in a particular event, similarly in another time, I should know the technique of being withdrawn from that event. If I am only involved and I do not know how to come out of the box, then I am in a bondage. If I am only detached from the event, then I cannot do any karma. So for doing karma, attachment is necessary. But for continuity with time, detachment is necessary. So the harmony between the attachment, detachment, that should be nurtured and cultured by each and everyone. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Professor Pramod Pradas, for your instant and extempore speech on the time management in absence of Dr. Alok London, sir. Today, your reflective thought and presentation on the time management from metaphysical and empirical dimensions has really inspired all of us. And you have said very beautifully that how time management is is a very precious value of that is for all of us while doing any action and at any crisis of our life. You have also very intelligently synthesized the time with action to treat it as karma yoga. And you have said so many things. You have also discussed on the transformation of different stages of our life, and it is also inspiring us. And through your discussion, you have uh, you have taught the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, the teaching of yoga, and the teaching of um, um, Buddhism to discuss on the philosophy of time. And you have also said how the flow and consequences of time has regulated our life, and we have also the limitation to understand the time, and so many things you have told. Now, uh, thanks for the presentation. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. K. Omna Rao to carry on the discussion. Over to Dr. Rao.
Namaskar, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Maharana. Well, it was immediate arrangement. Actually, the talk was scheduled for Dr. Alok Tandon, sir, but due to some problems at his end, he could not deliver. It is a stopgap arrangement. Professor Das tried to keep this series, Sunday series, going on. That's why he did not discontinue. But anyway, we had good number of participants, and I could see after a long time Dr. TPS is with us. Maybe when he joined, I don't know, but I find him here. So it's on time management, and Dr. TPS is a great expert on this, and he can speak on this, and so that he can enlighten all of us on this issue. So at first, let us move to Dr. TPS to have his ideas, to express his ideas, so that we learn from him um, the significance of time management. Over to Dr. TPS. Sir, namaskar, sir.
Namaste, namaste.
Sir, please. Namaskar.
I'm,
Namaste, sir.
I'm just
Namaste, sir.
I'm just putting my video on. Yeah. Namaskaram. I joined very just now. That's it. I missed the major portion of the lecture. I don't know what to add. Do you think I have to add something?
Yes, sir.
Your
Yes, sir.
own
Yes, sir.
time management, your own views, because you did not join. Okay, your ideas, your views on time management, sir.
Yeah, as my brother Narayan Rao told me, one subject which I don't give lecture probably is time management.
Okay.
The reason is I can manage something only when it is in my control. We believe that time is not in my control, right? So how do I manage it? So actually what we are managing is the activity. How do I manage my activity so that 24 hours can be filled? Many people have the complaint, I don't have time, I don't have time. I keep saying, I am not busier than Prime Minister of India. He also has 24 hours, I also have 24 hours only. So how is it I am putting my activities into? So normal example given is, I have a bottle, the mouth is not narrow, maybe a tumbler like this, in which I have to put three tennis ball can be put. Four, no, because it's full, right? Then I can put that small goalie. I can put it inside and then shake it, it will go inside. Is it full is the question. So it's not full. I can take sand and put it. Sand will find its space in between. And then it's not still full. I can pour water. The water will find ways to get inside. So the 24 hours can be filled by major activities, minor activities, my passion, my hobby, and I still have time for somebody else to take care. So it all the way I fill it. Assume that I fill water first, then sand, then pebbles, then I will say I can put only one basketball or maybe the tennis ball. That means another two, three balls will be balanced. So the way you give priority to things, the way you fill in the time in between, that makes us to make our time uh, properly utilized, creatively utilized, and prioritization. This means I am prioritizing. So that prioritization is what is essentially required. This is what generally I speak on. Though I also use the word time management, I know because it's more popular, I am using the word. Otherwise, it's activity management, which I generally speak. So I don't think I have anything more to add. Thank you. Thank you for this
Thank you
kindness.
very much, sir, for this example. Very nicely said that we should decide our priorities. We should see what are more important in life. So those are to be filled first, and we can have space for smaller things later on. If we fill,
I'm not skipping philosophy program because I am not having interest. But I had a meeting just now finished from 5:30 to 7:30. As soon as 7:29 or 28 it was over. As soon as that I joined here.
sir. So
All the
nice of
time
you, sir.
scheduled.
So nice of you for giving these examples to decide the priorities should be filled first so that we can have space for the lesser things later on. So we are
Yes.
giving time to everything. So that is how time can be managed. Very nicely said. It's a beautiful example. Now
Thank
we
you.
have with us Srivastav, sir. Professor Srivastav. Let us move to him. Sir, you were there throughout the lecture. Well, some observations from your side, sir. Professor Srivastav. Well, he's there. Well, I think he is there. Yes, Professor Srivastav. Sir, please unmute, sir. Maybe you are put on. Yes, now. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, as Professor Shashi Kumar was not here, so is with me because I came when he was speaking. And in fact, I couldn't listen a single syllable by Alok Tandon or whosoever was speaking here. But I have heard Professor Shashi Kumar, and he has given a lot of ideas to me because He is telling that I cannot, time is not maintained. I have to maintain my works and all these things. To my mind, if you don't maintain the, if you do not manage the time will manage you, because we live in three states. Time is a threefold: present, past, and future. But I live in present. Past is in our memory, because when I think of past, it is the present memory, and if I think of future, it is our my present expectation. And what you will have to do, you will have to do in the present only. So, what happens if you are consumed in the work? If you are doing the work skillfully, you are managing the time and managing the work as well. That's why it has been said, Yoga Karamashu Kausalam, because if you are doing the work skillfully and very nice way, you are managing the time as well. And the reason is very simple. The yoga doesn't is not finished here. Samatvam yoga uchyate, because for skillful doing, you will have to be in balance. Neither you are driven by the future nor you are dragged by the past. If you will have to be present, and full concentration will be there. And unless and until you are present in the present, you are not going to manage the time, nor you are going to manage the work. And that's why it is better to do the work diligently, not, but skillfully, and be present in the time. It means when you are doing, neither you are detracted by the future or the past, and then your mind is concentrated. Yoga, then then what will happen? The samatva will come, and the time management will start. So this is what I understood by the uh, by the talk given by Shashi Kumarji. It is my reaction to his talk only, not because I have not heard uh, Alok Tandonji earlier. So I'm sorry I cannot reflect more on that.
No, sir.
Thank you,
Actually,
sir.
today the talk was scheduled for Dr. Alok Tandon, sir, but he could not attend because he could not deliver his lecture because he had some problems at his end. So, Professor Pramod Das, he talked on time management. Well, whatever you have said now, that this has been said by Professor Das. Well, he wants us to be in the present in
Yeah.
order the managing the present is the best form of management of time, because
Correct.
past and future will always distract you and keeps away your focus from the present, and that is always dangerous, and that's what even Professor Das was highlighting during the course of his lecture. Well, I could see Anurima Bhattacharya, madam, she is there. Dr. Bhattacharya, Professor Bhattacharya, please, I could, yes, yes, she is there.
Yes. Good evening and namaste, sir. Uh, sir, actually, I felt like saying that every moment I live in the present, everything I do right now is connected to whatever I've done in the past. So I cannot really live absolutely in the present unless I go back to my past. So living exclusively in the present moment is like impossible for me, and is like uh, not possible also. You cannot live the present unless you connect yourself to the past, or you cannot do anything unless you connect to whatever you have done in the past. So how is it that you live exclusively in the present? I don't understand. Please, sir.
Well,
uh,
Professor Das, yes, Professor Das, are you there? Yes.
I listened to Dr. TPS sir, Abnas Srivastavaji, and Honorma Madam. When we are discussing about, I was discussing about time management. But Dr. TPS said it is not for him. That means it is not for a karma yogi like TPS. I was talking about the crisis of a common man. You may take the example of Arjuna also.
Sir, speak bit loud, sir. Not so much clear.
Yes, yes. When what Dr. TPS has said, and the example he gave, that was for him because he is a karma yogi. He is a very mature mind. But what I was telling, I was talking about the crisis of a common man. How a common man fails to manage time and maintain harmony between the flow of time and flow of events. I was talking about the attachment towards the event. Event starts and event ends. But our experience should end at the end of the event. Should should end. But because we like the event, we desire its continuity. Because we dislike the event, we desire that this event should stop now. So we superimpose our psychological time on the chronological time. We don't go with the events. We are too much attached, or we are very quick to be detached. That is our problem. This is a problem of a common man. This is not a problem for the wise persons like Srinivasanji or Srivastavaji or Dr. Rao or others. It is not for wise persons. A common man like Arjuna in the battle, because Arjuna was confused in the battlefield at the time of war, because that was not the time for confusion, that was the time for war. You should fight. He was confused because he had the gravitational pull of the past memories that they are my brothers, they are my teachers. He was remembering the relations and he was excited by the future anxieties. What will happen after this fight? The consequences. So if you are in the present, but you are not giving justice to the present, if you are worried about your past memory, you are disturbed by your past memories, and you have space, you have that space in your mind, and you have space for the future anxieties, then some space for the present are lost in the present, and you cannot be a karma yogi. Karma yogi means this time, this work, this should be done for the sake of my duty, because I am doing my duty in the sense of duty only, and the next moment my swadharma will be changed. As the time will be changed, swadharma will be changed. So if we do not change ourselves, if we do not change our priority according to the change of time, then that is our personal agenda. To what I shall give priority, to what I shall not give priority, that is the personal agenda of my personal schedule, because I am so and so. So I have 1,000 engagements, assignments. So I shall choose my priorities. That is natural. But once you are engaged in a given situation, whether you are detached from that situation at the end of the situation or not, that we were discussing. Attachment through detachment. So what Professor Srivastavaji said, without hearing to me, exactly I had told that in my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Das. What Anurama Bhattacharya wanted to say is what I could understand from
Yes.
her
What
question.
Anurama Bhattacharya said, that
Mhm.
that she is unable to be present in the present